Hey, Brandon here with the Grell Team, and we are in part two of our ongoing series covering our own personal new construction process. So, in the last video, we discussed doing our pre approval, and we did that. And after we had our pre approval, then we looked at what area of town we wanted to be in, how much our pre-approval was for, and then also our specifics as far as what we wanted to have in the house. And we were able to narrow it down to one specific neighborhood and builder. So we got all that covered. And now we are going over the process of signing the contract. So what you can expect, and it's going to be slightly different depending on each builder. They all have their own processes, but let me kind of just go over the one that we did. So what we did was we first narrow it down to the specific build plan that we wanted. And once we had that, then we had to look at which lots were available and then also which lots would fit that particular plan. Now, depending on the house, like 1 story versus 2 story, and also square footage, it can limit which lots you have available to you, because some lots are, more narrow than others. Some are longer than others, just depending on how that particular neighborhood is laid out. So in some cases, you may have a lot that is in the perfect location, but maybe it's too small to be able to fit that particular build plan. And they're going to know exactly which ones will fit in each one. So yeah, you'll have to first narrow that down. And the builder rep will take you and the realtor out to the different sites, just so that way you can see where they're at. But the one catch that I want to kind of point out here is whenever you are looking at your lots, just know that there may be a lot premium that gets added on to the top. Now, what is a lot premium? Let's say that the build that you wanted to do was, $300,000. Now, that's just for the normal price of the house, along with a lot that doesn't have a lot premium. Now, if let's say that all of the lots in the neighborhood were a 0.16 acre lot, which is normal standard size for typical neighborhoods, and I happen to find one that it's like a 0.3 instead. So it's double the size of all the other lots. That one's most likely going to have a lot premium just because it's bigger. So let's say that lot premium was $20,000. Then that means that whatever you have for your price of your build out, you're going to have $20,000 on top of that. That's going to add to the price of the house just based on that particular lot. Now, some neighborhoods, depending on how high end they are, they're going to have default lot premiums, which they just have in general. So just know that can happen, and that's where you got to discuss with your realtor and with your sales rep to make sure that you understand all the numbers. So first step is finding the build plan. Second is finding the lot that'll fit it and that fits your budget. Once you have all those laid out, then you're going to start going into the actual plans of the house. Now, some of them are a little bit different. Some of them may ask you to go ahead and sign a contract there, since you kind of have the basics down. But the one that we went with, they actually had us build out our wish list. And what that means is, let's say that the basic build for that particular plan is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. But they have the options to add in maybe a 4th bedroom. Maybe it has the option to add in a media room, has the option to add in a extra half bath, fireplace, sliding glass doors instead of your normal French doors in the back, a 3rd-car garage rather than just the 2, extended patio in the back, all those little pieces in there that don't come automatically for that particular plan, but do come as an option. So depending again on your particular needs and your budget, you can go through and kind of see, okay, if my base plan is $300,000, but I'm going to add on all these extra features to maybe get it up to a 4, 3.5 instead, where is that going to put me at? And your sales rep will be able to give you kind of a breakdown of what the expected total amount is, along with your lot premium, and then also an estimated monthly payment based on the numbers that we got already. The other catch with this is we did do a pre-approval just with a separate lender, but whenever you work with new builders, they're always going to have a mortgage company that they have a specific deal with, and that's their preferred mortgage lender. And what happens when you typically go with those is they're going to give you a better deal than others. So like, for instance, maybe they're going to cover your closing costs. Maybe they're going to allow you like $30,000 that you can use towards anything. Now, if that happens, then you have the opportunity to bring the price of the house down. You can use that money towards a rate buy down. You can use it towards maybe a 2-1 buy down, just depending on your particular situation. But that's why we do the pre-approval ahead of time. So that way we kind of have a general idea of kind of where we're at. And then if we add additional deals on top of that, then it helps, bring down the price. It allows us to do maybe a little bit extra on the add-ons and things like that towards the build. So just know that you're going to go through that process, make sure all the numbers are correct, and kind of do like a basic build with all the information. And for our team, we have good relationships with all the builders, so we know which particular builder reps really know the products well. So that way they can walk you through and say, hey, these are the different options. This is really worth the money. This maybe is not. Just so that way you can get the best bang for your buck, or, know what, hey, I want to do with the builder, or maybe something that, you want to add on later on. But once you get all of that settled, then you'll have a complete build out with all your wish list. And then from there, you will go into signing the contract. And whenever you're going to sign the contract, it's going to have all the basics in there. It'll have the plan, your wish list, the lot, and all the specifics as far as when the expected closing is going to be, your HOA, how much that's going to be, an expected end of, or your monthly payment. Now, that's not permanent, that's just an estimate, because you're going to have to go in and work with the mortgage company, either the one that you had already, or with the one of choice. And of course, you can do as many as you want. Just so that way you can get the specifics on there before you know for sure where you're going to be at, but you'll at least have the basics in there. And once you have all that, then the last step is going to be to sign the contract and then to put in the earnest money. Now, earnest money is your money that you're giving in good faith that you are going to move forward with the process and go ahead and buy the house. Now, the earnest amount is going to vary depending on builder and neighborhood. It's very different than what you see on pre-owned versus new construction. On new construction, they'll kind of have a set amount for the neighborhood. On pre-owned, it's more based off percentage of the overall purchase price. So definitely ask those questions at the beginning to your realtor of, hey, what is my expected earnest money? So that way I'm prepared and I know if I'm good to go. I've seen times where maybe the earnest money is $5,000, higher neighborhoods, it could be $10,000, $20,000. And in some others, it's like $500. But again, that's just the money that you're putting in to say, hey, I'm serious about this purchase. And this is me putting it in good faith that I'm going to go ahead and finish out the contract. Now, there is ways that you can back out of the contract and get the money back, which definitely you would have to work with your realtor on that, which we can help you with. But if for some reason you just decide, hey, I'm not going to move forward anymore, and there isn't one of those specific reasons that falls in the category where you can get it refunded, then you would actually lose that earnest money by backing out. So just know that you definitely want to be serious about moving forward, and definitely work with us to ensure that you got all your bases covered and you know what you're getting into. After you go under contract, then it's going to go to our next step, which is step 3, and that is going to be the design shop. And that's where you're going to get to go out and actually pick all the different pieces of your house. So that'll be the next video. So watch out for that one after we go and pick out our supplies, and we'll kind of talk about what happened and kind of what we found. So watch for part 3, and I will see you soon.